Thank you for clicking on this video. My name is Danny and welcome to my channel. This is my first YouTube video in over 10 years, okay? Oh, I have a notebook. So, it is my first YouTube video in 10 years. I literally made notes because I don't know what I want to say when I sit in front of the camera. That's partially why I'm here. So who am I? I'm Danny, or just call me Danny. Just Danny. That is who I am. I am making this YouTube channel because I want to share my weight loss journey and what I hope to get out of this channel, which we'll talk a bit more about. What I hope to get is to get over my fear of being perceived, okay? I am terrified of people seeing me on the internet and forming opinions about me because I grew up on the internet. I'm 27. I will be 27. I will be 27 this year, and I've spent literally all of my adolescence and adulthood using social media and being on the internet, and I've seen, the good and I've seen a lot of the bad. But outside of that, outside of that, I think I spent so much time on the internet because I was insecure in who I was. And instead of sharing my life, I was just consuming other people's lives. And now I'm at a point where I don't even feel comfortable sharing my life on just Instagram or TikTok or even Twitter. I literally don't post anymore because I'm just this lurker, and I don't want to be a lurker anymore, okay? I want to be an active member of the internet society. I have lots of thoughts and lots of opinions. Some of them might be right, some of them might be wrong, some of them you might not even care about. But I just want to feel more comfortable talking and sharing about myself. So let's get into a little bit of my background, because again, this is the first part of this channel is primarily just my weight loss journey. I've always kind of wanted to share that on the internet. I'll give you a brief rundown of my weight loss history. The first time I tried to lose weight, I don't even know how old I was. I was a child. But I never actually knew about calories, and I never knew about exercise. I was just eating the food that was in my house or the food that my mom bought for me, whatever. And I put on weight as a child, and children who have weight, that's fine. I think I got to about high school, so this was 2015, 2016. 2015 was the end of my junior year of high school, and I decided that I was not going to be fat anymore, okay? I didn't know how much I weighed because we had this really old scale. It was not digital. It was literally the one that you step on and it's got the little gauge that goes like this. Kind of use that. If we're going based off of that, my highest weight was 185. I don't know if that's correct. And I lost about 30-ish to 40 pounds. And I just wanted to lose weight. I was insecure in my body. I literally wore the same hoodie to school every day because I just did not want anybody to see my body, okay? I spent that time doing it the least healthy way possible. I wouldn't say I had an eating disorder, but I did have a lot of disordered eating. I mean, I was not eating. And I was closely tracking my calories using MyFitnessPal, pretty much starving myself, eating under 1,000 calories daily, over exercising, maybe an hour or two a day. I'd be on the treadmill walking at a steep incline, and the weight literally just fell off. But obviously that's not sustainable. And so while I did try to sustain that, because after, it took me a couple months, I stopped losing weight. 2016, I was pretty okay with where I was. And then I went to college at the end of 2016. And from 2016 to 2019, specifically my freshman year, I didn't even eat in the actual dining hall because I was embarrassed to eat in front of people. So I'm embarrassed to just literally exist, you see? I spent a lot of time in my dorm, just isolating myself. I mean, I had a job while I was in college and I loved that job, but we'll get there in a second. And so I was still restricting pretty much. I wasn't tracking my calories closely, but I would go to the dining hall and I would fill up a plate with some yogurt, some fruit, veggies. I ate beans. At this time, 2015 is when I went pescatarian. So for the most part, I wasn't eating meat. So like I was finding other sources of protein, or trying to at least. Mostly seafood was my protein, like shrimp, salmon, whiting, tilapia, fish, basically. I put on a little bit of weight, especially like towards the end of like 2018, because I just started like eating whatever. And then come 2019, I was like, okay, guys, I want to lose weight again. So I went on another weight loss journey. And this time I was not restricting, and I did want to be in a healthier place. So I wanted to be healthy, I wanted to be strong. So I started weightlifting. I was actually terrified to go to the gym. In my college, because I didn't want people to see me exercising, because I thought I was fat. And I thought that because I was fat, that like no one should, like I shouldn't be in the gym. No one should see me trying to lose weight. I thought that actively trying to lose weight was something that was, you know, like embarrassing. I didn't tell people that I was trying to lose weight. I still kind of wanted to, you know, be skinnier, but I was focused on like the healthy parts of weight loss. So exercising, but not over exercising, and eating just whole foods. So that was the main thing I did. I just ate whole foods. I did track my calories. I used a scale. When I was tracking calories, I used what was called like this 21-day meal plan. I don't know if she still does that anymore, but it basically helped me figure out like how to use whole foods to make meals. But again, that didn't last long, because from the rest of 2019, I moved into this apartment with a coworker turned friend. We lived in this apartment. I wasn't really working out. I think I ended up canceling my Planet Fitness membership. I could barely afford rent, so I was working. I was stressed. I was depressed. And then 2020 comes, and the pandemic hits. I meet a guy. We fall in love. We move in together. Fast forward 5 years, I've put on about 50 to 60 pounds since 2020. So 4 years, I guess. So I weighed myself in October of 2024. Okay. I got rid of my scale in like 2020 or 2021. And so the first time I've weighed myself in all that time was last year, when I bought a new scale. And I stepped on the scale, and it said I was in the 200s. I had never been in the 200s, not even as a teenager. Like, I think my max, even going to the doctor, was like 184, okay? I was like, fuck. I literally was like, okay, I can't keep living like this, because I was tired all the time. I was super depressed and insecure. I was stressed as fuck. I didn't feel my best. My clothes didn't fit right. Like, I literally was trying to convince myself that the dryer was shrinking my clothes, and not that I was growing out of them. Okay, so I was a little bit delusional about how much weight I had gained. If you heard the term weight blindness, it makes sense. I blame it on the fact that I was also working from home in a very toxic job environment. And when I say toxic job environment, like, if you ever worked in a call center, especially one that's work from home, and especially one that is kind of a necessity for people, so not one where it's like, okay, they're just shopping, and, you know, if they get their orders, whatever, like, you need your phone, you need health insurance, you need, you know, your water or your power. Like, if you work in one of those environments, it can get stressful, because, you know, people can't really afford the things that they have to pay for sometimes, and so they take that out on you. Anyways, I took that out on myself, and I would just like snack. I was drinking a lot. I wasn't prioritizing like balanced eating, so I did try to make sure my meals were like, you know, protein, carb, vegetable. I tried to make sure like at least dinners were very sustainably like consistent, but it wasn't always like that. Like, we'd go out to eat, we would order food, so like I wasn't really focused on calories or portion sizing, and that's like one of the biggest mistakes. Thankfully, like, my stomach isn't a bottomless pit, so like if it was a bottomless pit, I definitely would have ate a lot more, but because like, you know, I would make these huge dinners, I would very rarely finish them, but I was still making pretty big portions. 2024, October, I decided I was gonna start making some changes. So instead of eating like whatever, instead of like not eating whatever at work, because that's the type of person I am. I never really ate when I worked retail in undergrad. So I would just be like, okay, I'll like eat breakfast and I'll eat dinner. Those were like my meals. I never really ate lunch at work. And so I kind of carried that into this job where it was like I'm going into the office, so I wasn't working from home anymore. And I would basically like have a couple bags of snacks, and that's about it. And my job, like, they provided food for a little bit when I first started, so that was also like, kind of a benefit. And so I was like, okay, I'm not gonna like make my own lunch because they're gonna have either sandwiches or Panda Express or whatever it may be. I do think I gained a little bit weight when I started working at this job, just because I became a lot more sedentary, because it is an office job, so I'm sitting at a desk all day. Here I am, 2024. I switched to eating fruits for breakfast. So instead of like, I love a donut. I would like get to work, and if there was like nothing to do, I might be like, hey, I'm gonna go take a break. And it took me exactly 15 minutes to drive to the store and get back and with a donut and like a drink. So I decided no more of that, because I was hearing how like sugar spiked your insulin or something along those lines. I don't know the exact science, I'm sorry. But I did recognize that, like, okay, I would eat this, but I wasn't satiated, and so I'd be hungry. I was drinking a lot of water. I live in Colorado, so water is just like a daily thing. Speaking of, I need to go refill my bottle. So I would make this like plate of food, not even food, but it was just fruit. Literally just like apples, kiwis, mandarins, sometimes cucumber. Like, it would just be a lot of different fruit, or carrots. Sometimes I put a little bit veggies in there, and that kind of helped me start like balancing like what my body kind of wants, because I was at a point, like I am still at a point, where my body will crave fruit. Okay, I love apples. I think apples and cucumbers I eat most consistently, just because they're easy to like just cut up and snack on, and they're not like messy like kiwis or sometimes mandarin oranges are, or some fruits are messy. We would also eat like a little pack of oatmeal. I stopped doing that because of the sugar level, and like it wasn't satiating, because it's about like 100 and something calories. It's not very much food. And then January of this year is when I got serious. So from October to January, just by making changes like eating the fruit for breakfast and the oatmeal, and then like making my portion sizes smaller, I lost 10 pounds. So like I was still eating pretty unhealthy. Like I would still, eat a whole bag of donuts, but my day to day, I was trying to eat less. And so like I spent time making that change gradually, because I don't live by myself. So I can't just be like, okay, I'm going to only cook for me. I had to also kind of convince him that like, hey, we're going to change how we're eating. Now here we are in 2025 in January. So from January to today, which is March 29th. So it's been about almost 2 months, or 8 weeks exactly. And I would say I've lost another 10 or 11 pounds. So I'm officially down 21 pounds from October of 2024, 228 to 207 this morning. And I feel better than I've felt in a very long time. I've stopped drinking as much, so I was drinking almost every day. It's cut back to like maybe 3 times a week. I'm trying to get to like just the weekends, like literally just Friday, Saturday if I do drink. I'm changing my lifestyle. I want to be more healthy. I want to be more active. I want to be more confident. I want to be okay with being seen by others. I want to be okay being seen trying. And that's another thing. I'm learning how to snowboard. It was hard. I literally went last night and I fell a lot. And that was hard for me, because growing up, I was the type of kid who was like, I was kind of just good at things, not sports. I was good at like art, music, like writing, performing. That's where I shine. I was not an athlete, and I want to be an athlete. I wanted to be an athlete growing up. I just never felt confident, because I always thought I was too fat to be an athlete, right? My goal here with this channel is to show my weight loss journey. I want to lose the weight and keep it off. I don't necessarily want to be like stick thin, but I want to reduce belly fat. I want to reduce thigh fat, but I also want to be more athletic. So that I feel like that just kind of comes with the territory. So I'm gonna spend like 3-4 hours on the slopes. My body has to be prepared for that. And so that is my story. That's why I'm here. That is who I am. I'll do like what I eat in a days. I'll do some like, not listicle style, but like, you know, 5 blah blah blahs, 6 blah blah blahs, you know. I love meal prep. Meal prep actually is the best way for me personally to like stay consistent with what I'm eating and how I'm eating and how much I'm eating, because I used to be a snacker, okay? I could literally just snack all day long. I'm trying to be more consistent about actually having meals. Tracking calories, that one's difficult for a lot of people, and I'd like to show how I do it because I think there's lots of different ways you can do it. Maybe some reaction type videos to things like Skinny Talk on TikTok, which I think they have some good advice, but I also think that as someone who grew up on Tumblr during like the height of eating disorder culture, I guess what you can expect from this channel based on the videos I have planned. I think I am experienced enough to speak on that just because I spent a majority of the last 10 years living that life, right? I guess 5 years on, 5 years off. That is who I am. Oh my God. That's what this is. I have gotten to the end of this video, so I did it. That was the first step. So go ahead, like and subscribe because you want to follow along, because this is going to be an amazing journey. It's going to have lots of ups, it's going to have some downs. I'm going to share as much as I can. If you like and subscribe, you'll also help me get over my fear of being seen, because that means that you enjoyed this video. Okay, so last thing I'd like you to do is just comment, I see you, and that's how I'll know that you watched this video all the way to the very end. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you giving me your time. We'll probably do a more in-depth like weight loss journey with more pictures and everything down the line, but this is just a short snippet into who I am. I hope you guys have a great, amazing day. Okay? Thank you. Bye.